Hey everyone, welcome to this complete beginner's guide to Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm super excited you are here because today we are going to make video editing simple and fun. If you ever looked at Premiere Pro and thought this looks complicated, you are not alone. Premiere Pro is one of the most powerful tools out there, but it's also one of the most intimidating for beginners. So no worries, we are going to break it all down step by step. Whether you are editing YouTube videos, creating social media content, or making a short film, you are in the right place. We are going to dive into the basics of Premiere Pro, making sure that by the end of this tutorial, you'll feel comfortable using this program and be ready to start editing your own projects. Now let's start with a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. We'll go through setting up a new project the right way, understanding the workspace and interface, importing and organizing media, basic editing like cutting, trimming, and arranging clips, adding transition effects and text, working with audio, exporting your final video, plus we'll cover some bonus tips and tricks to save your time. But before we dive in, here's a quick tip. If you can open up Premiere Pro right now and follow along with me, even if you don't have any footage yet, you can still practice with sample videos or photos. Remember, don't try to memorize every tool or shortcut right away. Take it slow, practice along with me, and by end of this video, you'll have the skills to start editing your own projects. Let's jump into it, and remember, editing is all about having fun and being creative. Alright, now that we are ready to start, let's take a moment to understand what Premiere Pro actually is. Premiere Pro is a professional video editing software used by filmmakers, YouTubers, vloggers, and designers around the world. It's a part of Adobe's Creative Cloud suite, which also includes Photoshop, After Effects, and Illustrator. What makes Premiere Pro so great is its flexibility and power. Whether you are cutting simple YouTube videos or editing a full-length feature film, Premiere Pro has the tools you need to make it happen. One thing you might hear a lot is that Premiere Pro is a non-linear editor. This just means you don't have to work in a fixed order. You can add, cut, rearrange clips however you like. In fact, non-linear editing is a major advantage because it lets you get creative with your video editing workflow. So how is Premiere Pro different from other editing softwares like iMovie or DaVinci Resolve? Well, Premiere Pro gives you more professional grade control over every element of your video. You can manipulate video clips, adjust audio levels, use advanced effects, and even sync your footage to music. Plus, it supports pretty much every camera format, so you won't have to worry about compatibility issues. The reason so many professional editors use Premiere Pro is because it integrates seamlessly with other Adobe tools. For example, you can create graphics in Photoshop or Illustrator and then import them straight into Premiere. The integration between this app is what makes Adobe Premiere Pro one of the most powerful video editing tools on the market. Now you don't need to memorize everything about Premiere Pro right now. The goal is to learn basics first and then gradually build your skills over time. Let's break it all down, starting with understanding the interface. Okay, now let's take a deep dive into the Premiere Pro interface. When you first open Premiere Pro, it might look a little overwhelming because there are a lot of panels and buttons. But don't worry, let's break it down so you can understand what everything does. Now let's open Premiere Pro. First, let's look at the timeline. The timeline is where you do most of your editing. It's where your video clips will live and where you arrange and cut them. If you have used any video editor before, the timeline will feel familiar. You drag your clips from the projects panel and place them onto the timeline for editing. So now, whichever panel is selected, it will be highlighted by a blue border. Now let's drag a video clip from project panel to timeline. So this is how a timeline looks. Next up is Program Monitor. This is where you will preview your video. You can see how your edited video looks and make changes. It's like your main editing video, so make sure you always have it on. Let's talk about the projects panel next. This panel is where you organize all your media. It can hold your video clips, audio, images, and even sequences. A good habit to get into early is to organize your clips into bins. Think of bins like folders. They help you keep everything organized and easy to find. For example, if you're working on a project with different scenes, you could create a bin for each scene. This makes it easier to locate files when you're editing. Now let's try creating a bin. Now we have a icon like folder here. Just click on it. I'll rename it to bin 1. Click on enter. I'll select this file and I'll drag and drop in this. Now to access all the files in the bin, just double click on it. Another important panel is effects panel. This is where you find all the video effects, transition and audio effects you can apply to your clips. You can simply drag and drop effects from this panel directly onto your video clips or audio tracks. I'll select any one transition. I'll search fade. I'll select this fade and I'll drag and drop on this. Now you can see this effect is applied. You see the changes. Just hide this. Let's take a quick look at the tools panel, which is located at the left side. This panel contains the basic editing tools you will use, like the selection tool, razor tool and type tool. We'll use these tools throughout the tutorial, so don't worry if they seem a bit confusing at first. A quick tip. If you ever get lost in Premiere Pro, you can always use the window menu at the top to reset. Just click on reset to save layout. Premiere Pro is fully customizable, but sometimes it's helpful to reset everything when you are learning the interface. By now, you should have a good idea of where everything is located. But the best way to learn the interface is by actually working in it. I suggest opening up a new project and just clicking around a bit to familiarize yourself with the layout. Don't be afraid to explore. Alright, now that we know the basics of interface, it's time to move on and set up your first project. Let's get started. Now that we are familiar with the Premiere Pro interface, let's set up your first project. When you open Premiere Pro, the first thing you'll need to do is create a new project. So let's walk through this process step by step. Start by selecting File, go to New, then click on Project. Name your project. This is pretty straightforward. Give your project a name that makes sense to you. Something like intro video or my first edit. I'll give it intro video. Choose location. Choose where you want to save your project files. I recommend creating a folder specifically for your Premiere Pro projects to keep things organized. So I'll click on browse. I'll select downloads folder. I'll click on select folder. So now below we have a few more options like renderer option. I am going with the default option for now. For video we have display format. Even this I am leaving it as it is. In audio we have display format. I'll go with the audio samples. Below we have capture format. Don't worry too much about this setting for now, as most of us are working with digital files, not tape-based files. Just leave it set to DV or HDV. Anything will be fine for now. I'll go with DV. Now the next is scratch disk. Scratch disk are nothing but the temporary storage for cache or files when the software is running. So I'll leave the setting as it is. Ingest settings for now, let's move these settings as it is. We'll cover ingesting media later in this tutorial. Once your settings are ready, click OK and Premiere Pro will create your project. The new project will show up in the project panel. Here, where we will store all our media. Now let's take a second to talk about creating sequences. A sequence is where your video editing happens. It's essentially the canvas where all your clips come together. For this beginner project, let's start with a sequence preset. I'll go to File and New and click on Sequence. If you want to access this new sequence setting directly, just press Ctrl+N on keyboard. Choose HD 1080p and 30 fps from the available options. I'll select this. This will match most modern footage and give us a high quality result. Once you have selected the preset, give your sequence a name like Edit Sequence 1. And click on OK. Your timeline will open up and you are ready to start editing. Here's a quick tip. Always organize your media by creating folders or bins in the project panel. For example, you could create bins for video, audio and graphics. This keeps things neat and easy to find later on. Trust me, this organization step will save you so much time as you get into bigger projects. Now that we have set up project and sequence, it's time for our small hands-on project. Let's create a basic montage video. Don't worry if you are completely new to editing. We are going to keep things simple and I'll walk you through each step. By the end, you'll have a short edited video to share. Step 1. Importing your media to get started. You need some media files, video clips or images. If you have a camera or phone with footage, you can use that, but if not, there are plenty of free stock footage sites where you can grab clips. To import your media, go to File and Import. Or you want to direct import the files, just click Ctrl+I on Windows and Command+I on Mac. I'll press Ctrl+I. Select the media files you want to use. Once imported, your clips will appear in the projects panel. You can drag this clip onto the timeline to start editing. Organizing clips now. Let's organize the clips. Create a bin for each clip and drag them into the appropriate folder. This keeps everything organized as you work. Now let's create a bin for videos. Now let's drag all the videos into the videos bin. Now let's create one more bin for audio. Let's drag the audio track to audio bin. Now step 3 is arranging clips on timeline. Start by dragging your first clip onto this timeline. Now I'll bring the first clip to the timeline. I'll press keep existing settings. You'll notice that it automatically aligns with the first video track. Here's where the fun begins. Start by experimenting with your clips. You can arrange them in any order, cut them or add effects. Try trimming the clips by dragging the end inward to shorten them, or use the razor tool. The shortcut is C to cut clips into different sections. Now to delete gap between all the clips, just right click and click on ripple edit. Do for the third clip as well. So a quick tip, if you want to make your video smoother, try adding some transition effects between clips. To do this, go to effects panel and choose something like cross dissolve. Drag the effect between two clips and it will create a smooth transition from one clip to the next. Click on the transition, go to effect controls, increase the duration, play the clip, and this is how you add a transition. Step 4. Adding music next. Let's add some background music to your montage. Import your audio file and drag it onto an audio track on the timeline. I'll drag the audio clip from audio bin and drop on the timeline. I'll go to 15 seconds and using razor tool, I'll cut the audio track. I'll delete the rest. You can right click on the audio track and adjust the audio gain, or simply use the volume control in the timeline to lower or raise the audio level. Click on audio gain. You can adjust it from here, or you can adjust it directly from the timeline. Step 5. Adding text. We are almost done. To add a title or text overlay, go to the Tools panel and select the Type tool, or just press T on the keyboard. Click anywhere on the program monitor and type your text. You can adjust the font, size and position by selecting the text layer in the Effects Control panel. To make your text look even better, you can add an animation. In the Effect Controls panel, use the position or scale settings to animate the text, making it fly in or fade out. I'll give a keyframe at 5 seconds. Step 6. Exporting your video once your montage is complete. It's time to export your video. Go to File, click on Export and Media. In the export window, select H.264 further format and choose Match Source, high bitrate for the preset. This will create a compressed file that works well for uploading for YouTube videos or sharing with friends. Once you have set your settings, click Export and Premiere Pro will render your video into a final file. And that's it. You have just edited your very first video project in Premiere Pro. How cool is that? Now that we have created our first video project, let's dive into some basic editing tools and techniques. These tools will help you perform essential tasks like cutting, trimming, and arranging clips. The selection tool. The most used tool in Premiere Pro is the selection tool, which can be accessed by pressing V on the keyboard. This is your go-to tool for selecting clips on the timeline. Once you select a clip, you can move it around, resize it, and adjust its position. The next tool is Razor tool. It can be accessed by pressing C on the keyboard. The Razor tool is what you will use to cut clips in the timeline. Let's say you have a long video and want to cut out a section in the middle. Simply click where you want the cut to be and Premiere Pro will split the clip at that point. I'll press C on the keyboard. I'll click here and the video is divided into two parts. Here's a quick tip. If you want to undo an action, just press Ctrl plus Z on Windows and Command plus Z on Mac. And if you want to redo it, just press Ctrl plus Shift plus Z on Windows and Command plus Shift plus Z on Mac. This will save you so much time whenever you are working quickly. The next is Ripple Edit tool, which can be accessed by pressing B on the keyboard. The Ripple Edit tool is used to adjust clips on the timeline while moving the other clips automatically to accommodate the change. For example, if you have shortened a clip, the Ripple Edit tool will automatically shift the next clip to keep everything aligned. Let's learn this practically. Now we have one clip on the timeline. I'll bring one more clip. Now if you reduce the length of this clip, we have a gap between both of this clip. Now I'll press Ctrl plus Z to undo. I'll select the Ripple Edit tool by pressing D on the keyboard. Now I'll reduce the size of this clip. Now you can observe that there will be no gap between both the clips. Trimming and adjusting clips. Let's now trim a clip. When you hover over the edge of a clip in the timeline, your cursor will change to a trim tool. You can click and drag the edge to shorten or lengthen the clip. If you need to fine-tune your clip's position, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to nudge it left or right by a small amount. Playback and adjusting the timeline view. As you edit, you will want to play back your projects regularly. Use the spacebar to toggle play and pause. You can also use the J, K, L keys to rewind, pause and fast forward and respectively. I'll press J on the keyboard. It's rewind. I'll press L. It's forward. I'll press K. It is used to pause the video. If you are ever having trouble seeing the timeline clearly, adjust the zoom level using the plus and minus buttons on the timeline panel. This helps you get a better view of your edits. Now that we have covered these basic tools, let's move on to adding transition and effects to make our videos even more professional. Next, let's make your video more dynamic by adding transition and effects. These are key elements that take your editing to the next level. Video transition. To add a transition between two clips, go to the effects panel. First, I will bring the second clip on the timeline. I'll go to effects panel, scroll down, and you will see video transition. You'll see a list of different transition options like cross dissolve, dip to black and wipe. Let's drag the cross dissolve transition between two clips. When you play your video, you will see a smooth fade transition between the two clips. You can adjust the duration of the transition by clicking and dragging its edges in the timeline. Try experimenting with different transitions to see what works best for your project. Now let's add some effects to our video clips. In the effects panel, you can find a wide range of video effects. A simple effect to start with is brightness and contrast. You can search in the search bar brightness. I'll drag this and drop on the video. Once applied, you will see it in effect control panel. From here, you can adjust the setting to make the clip brighter, darker or change its contrast. I'll increase the brightness. Maybe I'll make it darker. I'll change the value of contrast. So before video effect, this is the original clip with the effect. This is how this clip looks. In addition to video transition, we also have audio transitions. These are great for smoothing out audio levels between clips. For example, the constant power audio transition creates a smooth fade between two audio clips, making them sound more natural. Let's see by practical example. I will drag this audio clip. I'll make a cut here by using razor tool. See, I'll go to effects panel. In audio transition, I'll select constant power and drag and drop. Yep. So this is how it works. This will ensure the audio isn't too abrupt when one clip ends and another starts. Now let's do something a bit more advanced, the green screen effect or chroma key. This is really popular effect using to remove backgrounds, like in those cool weathers or movie scenes. To use this, you'll need a green screen clip. Once you have your clip, go to the effects panel. Go to the effects panel. Search for ultra key. Drag it onto your clip. I'll resize the size of video. Then in the effect control panel, use the eyedropper tool. To select the green color in the video. Premiere Pro will remove all the green, allowing you to place any background behind subject. I'll place other video behind this green screen video. This effect is incredibly powerful for creating professional looking videos, so feel free to experiment with it in your own projects. Alright, we are almost there. Now let's take a look at working with audio. Audio is a crucial part of video editing, and Premiere Pro gives you full control over your sound. Let's import our audio file. I'll drag this on timeline. Adjusting audio levels. First, let's talk about adjusting audio levels. To do this, select the audio track in the timeline. Then go to Effect Controls panel. Here you can adjust the volume by moving the slider level. If your audio is too loud or too soft, you can also right click on the audio clip in the timeline. Choose Audio Gain and then set the desired gain level. Audio effects and filters. Premiere Pro comes with variety of audio effects that you can apply to improve your sound quality. For example, the denoiser effect can help you reduce background noise. And the multi-band compressor can smooth out audio levels. Keyframing audio volume. Let's say you want to fade in or fade out the audio. To do this, use keyframes. In the Effect Controls panel, click the stopwatch next to the volume property to activate keyframes. Then drag the keyframes to adjust the audio volume over time. This will allow you to create smooth transition in and out of audio tracks, giving your video a more polished and professional look. Audio keyframing is a powerful tool for adding fineness to your projects, especially for music tracks or voiceovers. Syncing audio with video. If you have multiple audio and video clips that needs to be synced, like a voiceover with video footage, you can use the sync feature. I'll bring one audio file and I'll place two video clips on the timeline. I'll move both the clips towards some distance. Now let's suppose I want to sync this music with the video 3 clip. I'll right click on synchronize. Now I'll click on OK. Now you can see that both the audio and video levels are starting from the same point. Now similarly, if I want to sync the audio with the video 2 layer, I'll move the audio layer to some distance. I'll select both of them, right click, I'll click synchronize. I'll click on OK. As you can see, these both are starting from the same point. So Premiere Pro will automatically sync them based on audio waveform, saving you time and effort. Now that we have finished editing our video, it's time to export it. Exporting is one of the most important parts of the process because this is how you will create the final video file to share or upload. Export settings. To start, go to File, go to Export, then click on Media. Now a panel will open with different types of settings. Here you can choose your output formats. We have multiple formats available here, but H.264 is the best format because you get a high quality file with smaller size, which is perfect for uploading to YouTube or social media. Resolution and bitrate. You will also want to make sure that the resolution is correct. For most projects, the match source settings will be fine. However, if you are exporting for specific platforms like YouTube or Instagram, you can adjust the setting to match the platform's requirement. Next, let's adjust the bitrate settings. In the video section, scroll down and we have bitrate settings. Set the bitrate encoding to VBR to pass and adjust the target bitrate to around 20 to 10 Mbps. This will ensure your video looks great without being too large in the size. Once you have set everything up, click Export to render your video. Premiere Pro will process the video, and once it's done, you will have a final file ready to share. Now you are officially done with editing your first video. Congratulations, you have just mastered the basics of Adobe Premiere Pro. Before we wrap up, I have some bonus tips that can save you time and help improve your workflow. Bonus tip 1: use keyboard shortcuts. Learning keyboard shortcuts will make your editing much faster. For example, by pressing Ctrl K on Windows and Command K on Mac, it helps you to cut your clip. Let's see this practically. I have this video. I'll press Ctrl plus K, and both the clips are two separate clips now. Similarly, press V on the keyboard to enable selection tool, and C switches to razor tool. You can find a full list of Premiere Pro shortcuts in the keyboard shortcuts menu under Edit and Keyboard Shortcuts. Here we have all the shortcuts available. You can experiment with them. It's not easy to learn all of them at once, so try practicing them regularly. Bonus tip 2: save regularly. Premiere Pro is a powerful program, but like any other software, it can crash from time to time. To avoid losing work, get into a habit of saving frequently and enabling autosave. You can set Premiere Pro to automatically save your work every minute by going to Edit, Preference, and then Autosave. This will open a prompt for you. Here you have multiple options. Enable this option, automatically save projects, and here you need to select automatically save after. I have selected 15 minutes, and below we have number of project version. This means how many times you want a single file to be saved, autosave. Once you are okay with the settings, click on OK. Bonus tip 3: use marker for organization. Markers are a great way to organize your project and keep track of important moments. Press M on your keyboard to add a marker whenever you need it. So let's assume I want this point to be remembered. I'll just zoom it by pressing plus on the keyboard. I'll press M on the keyboard to mark it here. As you can see, a marker has been created over here. And there you have it, a full Adobe Premiere Pro beginner's guide. I hope you have learned some valuable skills today. Don't forget to practice what you have learned, experiment with the tools, and make something amazing. Thank you for watching, and if you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth tutorials.